Hey everyone, my name is Amanda and you are watching the Birch and Lily podcast slash Flosstube, I guess, since I've been talking about a lot of cross-stitch lately, so I guess we'll call it a podcast Flosstube. But welcome. Today is April 22nd and I'm here to talk to you about what I've been working on the past 2 weeks. If you have any questions about what I talk about this podcast, all of my show notes will be down below in the description. And you can find me in two places if you want to keep up with me in the next 2 weeks, I guess, between now and my next podcast. First is on Instagram at birch.and.lily, and Ravelry as well is Birch and Lily. I'm not as active on Ravelry. If you want to keep up with me, Instagram is probably the best place. And yeah, I think that's all I have announcement-wise. I did want to say thank you to all of my returning viewers and a big hello and thank you if you're checking me out for the first time. I hope you find something that you enjoy. So we'll jump into knitting first. We'll start with my works in progress. So my first project is in a bag from Sandy by the Lakeside. I got this a while ago, but it's got a beautiful lining on the inside of it as well. These bags are perfect for like a sock project or something like that. This is one of her small sized bags and it's got this cute little pull on it as well. So this pair of socks, I don't think I showed on the last podcast. I think I've started them since then. These are the Samphire Socks by Curious Handmade. I am knitting these up in another one of my Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls sock sets. This one, I guess I'll show you the balls of yarn first. So this one is called Luke and Waltz. I'm trying to think what month this was. So this one was from April 2018. If you've missed some of my previous podcasts, I've been getting these from Woolberry Fiber Co., these Gilmore Girl sock set clubs, since she started, and I've kind of been knitting through them now. I saved them up for a whole year, not sure why, and now I've been knitting through them. So yeah, this is April, Luke and Waltz, and like I said, I am knitting the Samphire Socks by Curious Handmade. So this is kind of what I've got going on so far. It's a 1x1 twisted rib. I cast on 64 stitches on 2.25mm needles. So it's got this lace on the front and then just a really simple ribbed texture on the back. And I actually remembered my sock blockers this time. I found them. So I will try and put this on my blocker just so you can see the pattern, the texture a little bit better. So yeah, it's super pretty. And I like this because it snugs up the sock a little bit, so it just gives it that little bit of a tighter fit. Because I find with lace, for some reason I knit lace a lot looser, and so then it makes the sock looser, but not loose enough that I would want to go down to a 56 stitch sock. So yeah, I like that that tightens it up in the back. So at this point, I think I'm going to add my heel flap in now and yeah, keep going. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention, this base is Woolberry Fiber Co.'s 75-25 base, their simple sock. I think they still carry it, but I really like it. Nice and cushy, sturdy, hard wearing, perfect for socks. And actually, this next pair of socks that I have to show you, I don't think I showed you last week either. I've kind of been on a sock casting on kick. I finished a couple pairs, super exciting. I don't think I've had any finished objects for a long time. So I'm very excited that I have a couple finished pairs to show you guys finally. But yeah, this pair of socks I cast on in the past 2 weeks as well. This is in a Tiny Human Knits bag. I got this a while ago as well. Polka dot lining. Again, very good for socks. Plenty of room. So this is knit out of yarn by the Cozy Knitter. This colorway, which is also a sock set, is called Kiss the Girl. So it's kind of hard. Actually, this side shows pretty well the different colors in there, but it's self-striping. And I have knit this pattern that I'm going to show you quickly, or shortly, I guess, in self-striping yarn before, and it actually works up quite well. I'm not a huge fan of when you have the color changes and you see it in between, like if you have a purl bump one row and then when you change it's a knit, or I guess it would be the other way. If you have a knit stitch and then the next row above it you have a purl bump, how it kind of looks a little funny. But for some reason with this pattern it doesn't happen very often, so it doesn't bother me. But I am knitting the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern by Kay Litton, the crazy sock lady. You probably know her by that name on YouTube or Instagram. But this is what I've got going so far. So the first thing I have to say, this base by the Cozy Knitter, it's her Bliss base, is definitely a lot plumper than any of the other sock yarn I use. So I cast on 56 stitches for this sock. And actually let me grab the other sock I was just talking about to show you. So if I hold it up to my Samphire Socks, I don't know if you can see here, but they're like the exact same size. And this sock I cast on 64 stitches, and this one I cast on 56, both on 2.25mm needles. So it's definitely a lot plumper of a yarn. Like even the cuff, there really isn't that much difference in size. So yeah, I'm doing these 56 stitches, which I'm not complaining about because it makes them work up really fast. So I think, I haven't decided yet if I want to do a heel flap and gusset or if I'm just going to do some sort of short row heel. I'll probably end up going with a short row heel because I don't like breaking up my stripes, and a heel flap and gusset will still kind of do that a little bit. But yeah, I love these. The texture is beautiful, and like I said, it doesn't detract from the stripes at all. So yeah, it's been nice to pull out some of my other self-striping yarn because since I've been doing the Desert Vista Dyeworks knit along, the yearly knit along, I found I haven't been working on many other self-striping socks because my Desert Vista Dyeworks pair is the pair that goes around in my purse, and that's usually what my self-striping knitting has been my car knitting or traveling knitting. So I just had the urge to cast on something else self-striping. Not that I don't like Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn, I do. It's beautiful, but it's nice to just work with something else for a little while. So I started this, I think I started this pair last week, but yeah, pretty happy with my progress on that. And I don't think I have anything else to say. So we'll get these put away. And then I have one more pair of socks that I have been working on, again in another Tiny Human Knits bag. Fun fact about this bag, if you want to know how well her bags hold up, I was in a car accident last year, unfortunately, but this bag was thrown out of the car into the snowbank, and we didn't find it in the ditch for about 2 weeks. And when we found it, it was perfectly fine. The only thing that happened was this little metal thing here rusted, which you would expect if it was sitting in water for 2 weeks. But the whole bag was perfect. The yarn inside was very soggy. I ended up having to reskein it and wash it and let it dry again. And I ended up using it and it worked perfectly fine, which was awesome because I don't like wasting yarn. But yeah, Tiny Human Knits bags are awesome. They hold up super well. I can attest to it. So this is, like I was talking about before, these are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. And I actually have one finished now, so I will put that on a sock blocker really quick. Okay, so we've got some dangly threads that I'm bad and haven't woven in yet. But this is the one finished sock that I have. This colorway is called Hydrangea. And so this was the point I was at last week, or last episode rather. I had this much left to knit on the sock. And I know I will get a question about this, I usually do. These stitch markers are here to count the rows. I put one every 10 rows so that I know how long this sock is, so when I work on the next sock, I don't have to count so much. I got this idea from Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, and it works really, really well for me. I'm very happy with how much easier it makes knitting my socks. So, yeah, this is the Hydrangea colorway. It's on their sparkle base, and I can't remember what the exact name of it is. But sparkle base. I cast on 60 stitches, 2x2 rib on my usual 2.25 millimeter needles, US ones. Yeah, very happy. The only complaint I have, I found this with a couple skeins of her yarn, and nothing against her. The yarn is beautiful and it doesn't really detract from it any, but some of the dye from one of these stripes got onto the lighter stripe there, and it's fine, it's a pair of socks, whatever, but I have noticed that a couple times on some different skeins I've used from her. But it's beautiful, I like it, the socks hold up well, so whatever, could be worse things. The one thing though that I have to say that is annoying the heck out of me with these socks, I had to Kitchener with the next stripe. I was one row short of yarn, and I was so close to just like ripping back and taking one row or one round out of this part of the sock before I got to the decreases for the toe, but I didn't feel like it. So I just have this random little blue chunk at the end of my toe. Whatever. So I will show you what I have going with the second sock. I need to get my button gear because I only have a little over a week to finish this guy. I don't want to muck up and fall out of the competition now, considering I've made it 4 months already, which I'm pretty impressed with myself to have that much dedication, because I definitely start too many projects all at once, all the time. So I'm pretty proud of myself for sticking with it and doing these every month. So, like, let's see if I hold this guy up to it. I don't have tons left. I'm almost at the heel. Oh, I am. Yeah, I'm past where I put the heel in, so that's not too bad. I should be able to get these done in no time. But I should move my stitch marker now off of this sock and onto the one I'm working on. I've been trying to make sure to move these after every podcast, just so I have kind of an idea where I was last time I recorded, and I'm not very good at it. So, win for me. I moved it onto my working sock. And I'm sorry guys if you hear a little bit of sniffling. I must have caught a cold. I don't know. I was fine until yesterday afternoon, and then I started to feel really stuffed up, and I'm not feeling super great this afternoon either. So hopefully I can edit out all the sniffling, but if there is one little sniffle here and there, I'm sorry. Okay, so that is all that I have for works in progress this week, but I do have 2 finished objects, which is super exciting. So I think I was working on both of these last episode, or I had put work into them so that I could show them last episode. These are both, again, knit out of Woolberry Fiber Co yarn. They're Gilmore Girls Club sock sets, so you can't buy them in her shop, but you might be able to find them on Ravelry D-Stash. So I will show you this pair first. I'll put them on sock blockers. They are blocked though, and the ends are woven in. I'm pretty proud of myself for that, because I've been very bad at weaving in ends lately. So, not this pair that I'm about to show you, but the next pair I'll show you, I actually finished the sock and immediately wove in the ends, and I was pretty proud of myself. It's nice to have them finished and blocked right away instead of just sitting on my desk in a pile waiting to be blocked. So, this is my pair of Galiano socks. So this colorway Now I have to say, I think the past couple episodes I was calling it Dean, you idiot. It is actually called I Love You, you idiot. But the colorway is based off of Dean from Gilmore Girls. So here they are. And I will pull one off the blocker shortly so I can show you guys the front, the cable and stuff. But I cast on 64 stitches for these. It's a 1x1 twisted rib. I used 2.25 millimeter needles, US ones. Used the toe decrease that's in the pattern. I think it's just a basic wedge toe. The one thing I did different, I think it was called for to do 16 repeats for the heel flap. I did 15. I wish I would have done 16. I forgot that the heel turns in Tracie's patterns, which I don't know if I said that, but this pattern is by Tracie Millar of the Grocery Girls. But her heel turn leaves you with less stitches at the end than the heel turn I'm used to. Usually when I turn my heels, there's 18 stitches left, and with hers, there's only 12. So it didn't leave tons of room in my gusset. So I wish I would have done the 16 stitches in the heel flap. Once I blocked it, it fixed things. They fit much better than before I blocked them. But yeah, I still think I would have liked that little bit of extra room here in the gusset. But I'll pull one of these off so I can show you the pattern on the front of the sock. So it's got this beautiful cable and lace, or eyelets rather, and these twisted stitch little panels down the side. It's very easy. I had the pattern memorized probably about at this point of the sock, and I didn't really have to look at it, which is awesome because then I can take these anywhere and not have to carry the pattern around with me, which I like. So yeah, these are my finished Galiano socks. They are going into my little sock holder thing that I showed you guys last week. I have one set aside just for all of my Gilmore Girls socks, which I don't think I'm gonna have enough room in for all of the socks, but I can order more. They were really affordably priced on Amazon. But yeah, these will go back into there, and I'm being silly again and saying, or in my head, I'm telling myself that I can't wear these until the whole sock thing is filled up, but I should get wearing them. Our house can be a little bit chilly at night, and a nice pair of hand knit wool socks is really good to keep warm, so I should start pulling them out and wearing them. So sock number 2, or socks number 2 that I have finished, I also believe I showed you last week, or last episode. I always say last week. I guess time doesn't go by the same for me or something. I don't know. Put these on the blockers as well. So these are my Shell Cottage socks by Curious Handmade. Like I said, these are also knit up in Woolberry Fiber Co yarn. This colorway is called in Omina Paratus, or this sock set rather. But these are, oh, the color's not showing super great. The light's a little funky today. So this is definitely, it's a little bit lighter. I would say the green is pretty close to what it is, but this is a little bit more pinky, a little bit lighter. But these are my Shell Cottage socks. So these socks, I also cast on 64 stitches, 2.25 millimeter needle, another 1x1 twisted rib. Now, I think I had talked or said last episode that I was finding these a little snug. I wish I would have gone up, or I was saying I wish I would have gone up a needle size to a 2.5 millimeter needle. I have to say, now that I've blocked them, it's definitely helped. I haven't tried them on yet. I should have done that before the podcast, but I think they should fit a lot better now. They're not so, like, even putting them onto the sock blocker, it's not such a hard tug, I guess, to get them on. So I think I'll be fine with the 2.25 millimeter needle. One other thing with this, it has a Eye of Partridge heel flap, which I love the look of. I hate knitting. It takes so much more thinking than just like a straight up slip stitch heel flap and gusset, but it looks really pretty when it's done. And yeah, this pattern as well was just like the Galiano Socks, was very easy to memorize. It's a 4-row repeat, so I had this memorized in no time, and I was literally just, the only thing I had to pay attention to was not getting too far so that the sock was too long. So yeah, these are my shell cottage socks. So these are part of Curious Handmade's Handmade Sock Society round 2. And those Samphire Socks that I was talking about earlier are also part of that. So if you haven't joined the Handmade Sock Society, I highly recommend it. It's like a mystery sock club. So all year, every second month, I believe, you get a new sock pattern. And honestly, from this year and last year's Handmade Sock Society, there hasn't been one sock pattern that I haven't liked. They're all gorgeous. So, and it's fun to wait and get a surprise of what to start and pick out the yarn and decide what will go well with it. And yeah, it's been really fun to be a part of. So these are my shell cottage socks. So that is all I have for finished objects with the knitting. These will go in my sock little box thing as well, yay. But there is one other thing that I want to talk about really quickly, and I forgot to grab it. I had shown this to you guys in 2 episodes ago, I think. But this is a new design that I've came up with, and it finally has a name. This is the Sweet Dahlia Shawl. This is knit out of Sugar Plum Circus yarns, Dianthus and Hawthorn. One is her 75/25 sock base, and one is her 100% merino twisty singles. Actually, I'll stand behind my chair here so I can show it to you guys a little bit better. So this is the shawl. As you can see, since you are seeing me through it, it's nice and airy, perfect for spring or summer, just something to keep you a little bit cozier. Awkwardly scooch myself back. So the reason I'm showing this to you guys, other than the fact that it finally has a name, is that I currently have applications open for testing. They'll be open until the 24th. I'll be picking on the 24th out of everyone who applies. But yeah, if you're interested in testing this pattern for me, please apply. I will try and remember to put the link to do that down below. If I forget, if you go to my Instagram page, it is in my bio there. But yeah, I'm looking for some people, now that I've folded it up, I'm looking for some people to test this pattern out for me. I would say it's good for an adventurous beginner. If you haven't done lace before, it might be a little bit challenging, but otherwise the rest of it is very easy. And it is my first shawl pattern, so people who have knit some shawls before would be great as well, because while I've knit shawls, I don't know if I've written it up in a great way. So yeah, I'm looking for testers for the Sweet Dahlia shawl. Let me know if you're interested, and I'm very excited, I guess. That's about all I have to say. My hair is driving me nuts today. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to be playing with it. So that is all I have to say about knitting. I hope you guys were happy I finally had some finished objects. I felt so bad. For the longest time there, I just couldn't get anything finished. I didn't even have that much on the needles, and I guess I can use our moving into a new house as part of an excuse for why I didn't have lots done, but it's been nice to finally feel like I've made some progress. So we will move on to cross stitch. I have 2 finished objects, which is super exciting, but I will show you the one thing I'm working on first. And I only have 1 work in progress because Mania is coming up and I'm trying to have some self-control and wait to start all my new projects then. I have them all ready to go and on the Tiny Decisions wheel. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it is an app and you put whatever you want into it. So I have the names of all the cross-stitch patterns I have ready to go. And every day of May, I will spin the wheel to see what I will be working on. So yeah, I only wanted to start 1 new thing since there's only like a week left of April. Didn't want to start anything new and then kind of muck up my Mania plans. But this is a pattern by Little House Needleworks. Just want to make sure it's not showing in my project bag here. It is part of their like monthly, little monthly patterns. I guess that's the best way to put it. This one is for May. And I have it in this beautiful bag. I've been sucked into the world of vinyl front project bags. This is by Pretty Southern on Etsy. She's also on YouTube as Pretty Southern. She has a Flosstube. But I'll show you. This is the front of it here. So I'm working on May right here. There, the glare's gone. But these patterns come with the floss, which is really nice. It was a good way for me to kind of start my floss, or growing my floss collection, I guess. So this is what I have done so far. So I've got the blue on the house done. I haven't started the doors or the windows, and a decent amount of the border. Pretty happy with it. I have to say though, now that I'm working on, this is on 32 count raw natural. Now that I'm working on 32 count again, I think I prefer 36 count. Part of me prefers it because I'm cheap and I like only using 1 strand of floss as opposed to 2, but I like how delicate 36 count looks compared to 32. Not that I don't like this, I'm very happy with it. It's beautiful, it's turning out really great. I'm using all the called for colors, but yeah, I like 36 count, I think. So I think from now on I will be converting my patterns when I get them up to 36 count. I have 1 project ready for Mania on 40 count, so we'll see how I feel about that. Maybe I'll convert to 40 count. I can't see me wanting to do 40 count all the time because it's pretty tiny, but 36 count was really nice to work on. So that is, oh, can't show that side, the pattern's showing now, but that is my 1 work in progress for cross stitch. And pull these over here. I am super excited that I have, playing with my hair again, sorry, that I have 2 finished cross stitch projects. They're not fully finished, they're not framed or anything yet, but they are fully stitched, which is exciting. So, on the topic of 36 count, this first project here, I showed this last episode, we'll just let that fabric fall, is by Plum Street Samplers, and I can't hold it. This is Llama Lump. I think the light's better over there. This is Llama Lump by Plum Street Samplers. It's stitched on 36 count Oaken with the called for colors. I am in love. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. And it's stitched, like, I thought a smaller count fabric would stitch up slower, but it really didn't. It almost stitched up faster because I didn't have to pull 2 strands of floss out every time I needed new floss. I only had to pull out the 1, which was refreshing. I hope you can't hear that dog barking. One of our neighbors has a really annoyingly loud dog. I will go out to work in the yard and he will see me and he will sit at the fence and bark at me the whole time I'm there, and it's so annoying. So yeah, I hope you can't hear him. I'm sorry if you can. But I am so happy with this. I can't decide. I have another one of these like animal stacks kitted up for Mania, and I have all this fabric. I think I could fit 3 across. I'm not sure. I'll hold this up here. I'm not sure if I could fit some underneath sideways, but I'm not sure if I want to do like one long project with them connected, or if I want to do, is that just, oh, that's just the fold. I should fold that a different way. It looks really bad on camera. It's not that bad in person, that line down the middle. But yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do like, I could probably fit 4 connected on here, or if I want to do them separate and frame them separate. So we shall see. But I'm going to fold this differently so that that line doesn't get worse. Actually, maybe I'll roll it. I've seen some people roll them. I guess that wouldn't give as many lines like folding it would. We'll try that. Okay, so that is Llama Lump. I think that was all I had to say about it. And my other finished object I'm so excited about. This is another Plum Street Samplers pattern. I stitched this one up on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And this is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. Look how pretty it is. Stop doing silly things, son. This is not, It's a little bit better. Oh, it went green again. Why is it doing that? I need to get used to this having sunshine, like filming in front of a window thing. Before I wasn't in front of windows, so the colors are usually a little better, but my camera keeps wanting to adjust and it doesn't need to. So that is it. I did mostly call for colors. The one thing I did change was the fence. I can't remember what it called for, but it blended into the fabric a little too much because this is not the called for fabric. So I changed that to Oatmeal by, I think it was by Gentle Art. And then obviously I changed in the pattern, it's charted with an S there, but I changed it to a P for my last name. The pattern comes with all of the letters charted. I hope I didn't hit the mic there. The pattern comes with all of the letters charted so that you can change it to whatever you want. But I am so excited to get this framed. I almost want it sitting up in the house already, even though it's not fall. But that was a really fun project. I hit a certain point on it and I just worked on it and nothing else because I was so excited to have it finished. When I started cross stitching, I think this was like the first pattern I found that I really wanted to do. Like everything else was pretty and I liked it, but this one I was very set on doing. So I'm excited to have it finished. Now this pattern did call for, I can't remember the exact, whoopsies, the exact color fabric, but it did call for 36 count as well. And I kind of wish I would have done it on 36 count, but when I started it, all I had stitched on was 32 count linen and that's what I was comfortable with. So that's what I ordered. It's still beautiful. And if anything, it just makes it bigger and I really like the pattern. So why would I argue with it being bigger? But yeah, very happy with that. So I'm excited for Mania to start. I have everything kitted and ready to go. I'm just waiting to spin my wheel and get started. And I do have some more yarn wound up for socks and stuff. Still working away on a new sock design. Yeah, I'm enjoying the beautiful warm weather. It's so nice to be able to sit outside with my knitting and enjoy it outside, or just to hear the birds, and the rain's been really nice in the evening, and I wish it wouldn't rain in the day because I have yard work to do, but it's been beautiful out, and I think that's what's kind of given me more ambition to get working on stuff too, is just the nice weather. It puts you in a better mood. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I think that's all I had to talk about today. Like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. You can message me on Instagram or Ravelry as well. Ravelry is probably better because the messages don't get lost so easily. And if you are interested in testing the Sweet Dahlia shawl, I will try my best to remember to put the link for that down below in the description with the rest of the show notes. And yeah, let me know what you're looking forward to about spring. Are you joining in on Mania? Are you doing lots of knitting? I'm so bad at just knitting socks. Are there any pretty shawls or cowls or anything that you guys have been knitting that I might be interested in? Let me know. And yeah, have a great next couple weeks. Thanks for joining in again.